Some figures in history are remembered for building nations, others are remembered for changing the world through conquest, conflict, and destruction. Adolf Hitler remains one of the most controversial and consequential figures of the 20th century. His rise from an unknown Austrian citizen to the leader of Nazi Germany would reshape Europe and trigger the deadliest conflict in human history. This is the story of his rise, his war, and his downfall. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in the small Austrian town of Braunau am Inn. As a young man, he dreamed not of politics, but of becoming an artist. He applied to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, but was rejected. Living in poverty and struggling to find direction, Hitler spent years moving between jobs while developing the radical political views that would later consume a continent. The outbreak of the First World War in 1914 changed the course of his life forever. Hitler volunteered for military service and fought on the Western Front. Germany's defeat in 1918 deeply affected him. Like many, he viewed the loss as a national humiliation. The political chaos and economic hardship that followed provided the fertile ground for his rise. It was during these turbulent years that Hitler discovered his most powerful weapon: his talent for public speaking. In the early 1920s, Hitler joined the National Socialist German Workers' Party. His speeches attracted growing crowds. He promised to restore Germany's strength, revive its economy, and overturn the restrictions of Versailles. In 1933, the orator became the Chancellor. Within months, democracy was dismantled. Power was concentrated in his hands. Through propaganda, mass rallies, and absolute control, the Nazi regime established itself as one of the most powerful forces in the world. But the ambitions of the Third Reich would soon push the world toward catastrophe. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. The Second World War had begun. Using the lightning-fast tactics of blitzkrieg, German forces rapidly conquered Europe. At the height of its power, the Third Reich appeared dominant. Yet, behind the military victories stood a darker, horrific reality. Millions of civilians faced persecution, imprisonment, and death. The Holocaust became one of the greatest atrocities in human history. In 1941, Hitler ordered the invasion of the Soviet Union. It was a decision that would prove disastrous. German forces became trapped in a prolonged icy war. As Allied pressure mounted from all sides, the tide finally turned. The empire that had expanded so rapidly now faced inevitable ruin. By 1945, Germany was crumbling. Allied armies advanced from the west, while Soviet forces pushed toward Berlin from the east. The cities lay in ruins. Hidden inside his underground bunker, Hitler witnessed the collapse of the world he had built. On April 30, 1945, as Soviet troops closed in, Adolf Hitler took his own life. Days later, Nazi Germany surrendered. The war in Europe was over. Today, Hitler's legacy serves as a solemn warning about the dangers of extremism and unchecked power. His story remains a tragic chapter in modern history, a reminder that the actions of one leader can alter the fate of millions and leave scars that endure for generations.